Hello and welcome to the Pop Box. I would like you to welcome back to Pun City. I know, we've all missed Pun City, haven't we? For those of you who need an explanation, Jackson Wallop is a pun on Jackson Pollock, the artist. And indeed, Jackson Wallop was painted to look like a Jackson Pollock painting. So as a result, very, very colourful robot. Jackson Wallop itself was a rectangular box, 2 wheels, armed with a spinning disc that was on top of the robot. It couldn't actually self-right due to the nature of the design, which was a bit of a problem. It entered Series 7 of Robot Wars and landed in Heat B, but was not its team's first entry. Its team had been in Series 4 with Attila the Drum, so they have the history of punny names. Anyway, Jackson Wallop, Series 7, Heat B. It drew Ring Spinner Gyrobot and Fairy Bar Spinner Killer Cat. It would have also fought the third seed, Axbot Terahertz, but Terahertz was disqualified this series, so therefore it was not in the arena for Jackson Wallop to fight. Anyway, all 3 remaining robots spin up their weapons before going in on the attack. Or at least Gyrobot and Jackson Wallop went on the attack, taking in turns to go after Killer Cat. Jackson Wallop hit Gyrobot too for good measure. Between these attacks on Killer Cat basically ended up no longer working, and also on its side. As Killer Cat was counted out, Gyrobot and Jackson Wallop pushed Killer Cat onto the flame pit. Now, as Killer Cat was covered in fur, that fur naturally caught fire. And Killer Cat ended up flying air floor flip before cease was called. So, that got Jackson Wallop through. And it fought Big Nipper in the second round. However, Jackson Wallop had a big problem. That problem being Big Nipper being too short for Jackson Wallop. It could not hit Big Nipper with his weapon. So, all Jackson Wallop could do was push Big Nipper around. It was basically relegated to a push bot before the fight had even begun. This did not stop Jackson Wallop from being aggressive, though. But they quickly learned that Jackson Wallop also fit nicely and neatly in between Big Nipper's grabbers. Absolutely perfect fit. So they backed off. And they did their best to stay backed off. They opened the pit and broke the pit release in the process. Vandals. Big Nipper then grabbed Jackson Wallop and shoved it into an angle grinder on the edge of the arena. Big Nipper then carried Jackson Wallop around, even introducing Jackson Wallop to Shunt before trying to free itself from Jackson Wallop. It's got one of its grabbing claws stuck. In the process, Jackson Wallop lost a tyre and ended up stuck with Shunt. It having only 2 wheels, losing one was a big, big problem. However, Jackson Wallop's spinner was still working. It put a great big gash in Shunt's scoop. However, with 1 out of 2 wheels not actually touching the floor, Jackson Wallop couldn't really move except in circles. So it got attacked by the house robots, got cuts into its spinny disc courtesy of Dead Metal. Big Nipper sent Jackson Wallop to a corner, and Dead Metal did the kind thing. Put Jackson Wallop in the pit. Jackson Wallop and its team did not return. Jackson Wallop's design did have flaws with the exposed wheels and the lack of self-righter, but the draw really did no favours to Jackson Wallop. It was never going to make it past round 2. Even if it hadn't got Otter Big Nipper, it would have got the Grim Reaper, and the Grim Reaper was a flipper. You get a flipper against a robot that can't self-right, not going to end well. It at least would have given the Grim Reaper a knockout win, which, for those of you who haven't seen the Grim Reaper's episode, it didn't get a knockout win. All its wins went to the judges. However, as for Jackson Wallop, it did leave its mark. That gash on Shunt. They never fixed it. Anyway, let's see if I can redeem myself for last week and actually get the sound effects right. Now, in my look, I'm going to end up accidentally pressing something else. Now, what have we here? One of the robots in fact, one of the robots that was very nearly the first robot to be talked about on this blog, All Talk. Yep. For those of you who don't know, it actually took 3 takes to do episode 1, and one of the attempts in which All Talk's name got pulled out of the hat, didn't actually film. Now, over 4.5 years later, I'm going to be talking about All Talk. Until next week, Callison244, out.